撳幾下掣。開翻。Okay, research technique. This word research. Do not mix up search and research. Search means looking for information. Research means developing a method and use a method to answer a question. In Chinese, it means 研究. Okay, search just means 尋找. Yeah, research is deeper. Search is easier. In part number 1, I introduced urban bird research by using count data, bird count data, or just bird count. It just means you observe how many birds, you record the time and the place you see the bird. So that is bird count. But now we are in the 21st century. We have newer techniques. So we try to answer new questions. So for instance, you see this species. You can see this in Hong Kong. It is called Asian barred owlet. This is also a reptile, 猛禽. Okay, you see this you can see this in Hong Kong. But can you guess? Okay, you can make a guess. How big is this reptile? How tall is it? What is the height of this reptile? Let's say from here to here. Can you guess? This is 貓頭鷹. Okay. The Chinese name for it is called 斑頭幽樓. Wow, 嗰個幽字好難寫。幽樓，斑頭幽樓。其實我都係有邊讀邊有字讀字嘅啫。Okay, the Chinese name is like this. 幽樓。Can you guess? Make a guess. 係嘅，20 cm、30 cm. Okay. In fact, I have already given you a tip in the name of this bird. Remember, in the first lecture, I told you that whenever you see this word let, let's say piglet, doglet, owlet, it means small. But how small? Perhaps this is just 10 to 15 centimeter. Males are smaller, females are larger. So owlet, 即係小貓頭鷹 okay? In Chinese, 小貓頭鷹. But this owlet, this Asian barred owlet, why do you know why it is called barred? B-A-R-R-E-D. This word comes from the word B-A-R, bar, okay? 條. You see, the head or the back of this owl, it looks like that there are many bars on its feather, okay? Even on its tail, okay? Many bars there. So we call it barred owlet. Where can you find it? Asia. So we call it Asian bar owlet. Interestingly, this is a diurnal owl. It is active in the morning and when there is sunlight. Okay, when it is night, it goes to sleep. It is unlike other owls. This is the distribution map. You can find Asian barred owlet in Shanghai, yeah, in Daibo, in 呢度邊度嚟啊？深井 and in Cyclone. Okay, these are the areas, the concentration areas of this Asian barred owlet. 班頭有流. So theme number 1 is about the distribution of urban reptiles. They can live very, very close to human settlements. For instance, if you go to places like Weichun, and if there are large trees, you can find Asian barred owlet. And then theme number 2 is about I do not disclose the answer first. I want you to guess. What are these? Okay. What are these objects? 一條條嗰啲咩嚟嘅? What are these objects? Make a guess. Just try. Okay. A tip is that these are not clean things. These are dirty things. 知唔知咩嚟嘅？屎。諗真啲 when you are struck or when you are hit by the poo of the birds, does it look like this? Cocoon. Yeah. These are cocoons. Or the regurgitate of birds of prey. Now, if you are a raptor and when you eat, you do not have so much time to eat. Okay, a raptor is not a human. For human, we eat slowly, we eat politely, but for owls, for eagles, for ospreys, for falcons, if they stop at a point and they eat very, very slowly, they may be caught by their natural predators. Okay, larger reptiles may catch them. So it is a danger. So they have to eat in a hurry. They will have to eat in a short period of time. So they just put everything in their mouth and then swallow down the whole prey. So let's say when a kestrel catch a mouse, it will eat everything of the mouse, including the hair, including the bones, including the nails of the mouse. But the hair, the bones, and the nails, they cannot be digested. So inside the body of the kestrel, the part that can be digested will be digested, of course, but the undigestible parts will be aggregated into these cocoons. In Chinese, you call them 食繭, okay? 繭知咩係繭啊？死啦，唔識寫個繭字添。Something like this, okay? 造字繭啊，篋繭嘅繭啊，你啲絲㗎嘛係咪啲繭？係食繭。So they will spit out these cocoons after having a diet, and then for scientists, they can pick up these cocoons and then use DNA analysis to examine what are the prey caught by the urban reptiles. So this is the diet. Theme number 2 is the diet of the reptiles. So we have distribution, we have diet, and then we have this. Now this is an artificial nest box. And then you have a webcam here. So theme number 3 is the reproductive biology or reproduction biology, 繁殖學, okay, of urban reptile. Remember in the last lecture, I mentioned a term called extra pair copulation, meaning that a female may mate with more than one males in urban to increase the chance of being fertilized and give birth to more babies. So those research are made possible using these types of techniques, using just a webcam to record the breeding cycle of the bird. Okay, so researchers or scientists are interested in distribution, diet, and reproduction biology of the reptiles. So there are quite a number of issues as well. So these are the themes, okay? And they want to compare reptiles in natural habitats and reptiles in urban habitats. For instance, they may compare the diet composition of owls in rural area versus urban area. And also they will do something called demographic performance. What does this word means? It means that this is, you see, on the left it is natural, on the right this is urban. So this is a this axis means what does the habitat look like. Here represents a city, and then on this side represents represents nature. So on this side you can see completely wild vegetation. But if we move closer to the right-hand side, it is just like walking into a city. We have more artificial buildings, we have more presence of human, we have more traffic, we have more noise there, okay? So there are different species. For example, let's say if it is an urban adapter or an urban reptile, the demographic performance will be an upward trend. It means that there will be a larger population of reptile species A in urban than in natural area. So for species A, it is more likely to be a urban reptile or an urban adapter. However, for species D is not so flexible, and species D may prefer open country habitat. So the population of species D is higher in the nature than in the city. So scientists are interested in plotting a graph or plotting graphs like this, and then they will characterize the population or the demography of the reptile species. By the way, this word, demography, means anything related to population. 人口, but not necessarily related to human. As you see, 人口 there is the word 人 ，okay, human. You can say raptor population，OK， 即係猛禽數目 ，OK， demography referring to the number of individuals in a community 或人口特徵 something like that. So now they have newer techniques. For instance, you see this is a predictive map. Now, this is called spatial modeling. In Chinese, 空間模型. When you see spatial, this word spatial is derived from this word space. Okay, it is just the adjective of space. It means we build model or we predict the occurrence of reptiles in different spaces. So there are some different colors of dots. Okay, green, red, blue. Yeah, red here, green here, blue here. And then you see for green dots, you see the green dots all concentrate in these areas, but the red dots, they are here, here, and here. This is the human layer region.喜馬拉雅山山區 of the Tibetan area， 即係西藏近喜馬拉雅山嘅個山區 ，OK。And then they build this spatial model, and this is the map that they get, meaning that they predict this Seika falcon will concentrate in this area, and then you see there are upland buzzard, there are human layer vulture. So the blue dots and red dots, they are at the peripheral area, 邊緣地區, as well as some are here. So they will have a conclusion saying that the Seika falcon is more specialized in a certain region. So in the future, the population of Seika falcon will be around here. But for the upland buzzard, the red dots and the human layer vultures, the blue dots, they can adapt to other regions. Perhaps in the future, they may spread to previously uncolonized area. This is their prediction. So you can make prediction on these maps. That's why you call them predictive maps. And they will collect something called shed feathers. Birds will change their feathers from season to season. Researchers will collect these feathers. Sometimes they cannot see the reptiles themselves, because there are few numbers of reptiles, but they can collect feathers. And then they can do DNA analysis to identify the species of reptile. So whenever a reptile passes an area, it may leave some feathers. For instance, this is the red-tailed hawk feather. These are the tail feathers, so these are orange or red in color. But there could be the issue of environmental contamination. Environmental contamination, meaning that the DNA information may be lost as these feathers are left in the nature for a long time. And also, as they record the location of collection of feather, sometimes the feather may be blown far, far away from the original position. So there could be some inaccuracies. Second, they use a technique called landscape genetics. What is landscape genetics? Or sometimes we call something called eDNA. So DNA is what you can find inside the body of an animal. But you see, eDNA, what is E? This E means environmental. Full name, environmental DNA. What is environmental DNA? Let's say if you build a trap, and then you trap a reptile. Then you collect the cocoon spit out by the reptile. You will learn what is the prey of that reptile, right? And you can also collect the soil sample on the feet of the reptile. So those cocoons, those soil, they are not part of the body of the animal. And sometimes you may see a nest of the reptile. So the nest is a piece of evidence of the presence of the reptile. So you can use all these evidence to summarize that a reptile has been here or there. So that is called environmental DNA. Yeah. Sometimes you may collect the scat. S-C-A-T. It is a better name for shit, okay? Or poo or excretion of reptile. 即係你剷走嗰啲屎啊，做猛禽鏟屎官啊 ，OK？ These are the traces left behind by reptiles in an area, in a habitat. Then you can build something, or you can build a map like this. This is something we call landscape genetics. So you see there is a note here, these dots, okay? Let's say these dots are the places where you collect environmental DNA samples. Perhaps it is the scat, perhaps it is cocoons or footprints of okay, footprints of reptile or nest location of reptile. Then you link up all these little dots, and then you will see you can draw lines. Line, okay. You can see there are lines among these points. So these could be paths where the reptiles pass. So these are the linkages. And then you can do vegetation sampling to learn more about the habitat. So maybe in dark green colors, these are the suitable habitats for reptiles. And then for light green color, these are less suitable habitats, but still the reptile will pass through them to another suitable habitat, which we call patch. So these light green color are called corridors. Corridors are what the reptile pass through, and the patch are the habitats actively used by the reptiles. So you can draw maps like this, and then this whole thing, when you add up all these concepts together, you call it landscape genetics. Okay, 環境基因 very, very sophisticated. And can you see this? This is a stepped eagle. Steppe eagle. 草原雕 ，OK， 係咪草原雕咧？應該係。Can you see something here? This is not natural. This is something like this. So it is an antenna. 天線喺側邊。This is a GPS location tracker. We call it remote tracking. And also you can use this word telemetry. 係咪草原雕咧？就係烏雕咧 ？Spotted eagle. You can visit the link here. There are some discussion on this photo. Okay, scientists trap the reptile, and then they attach this GPS tracker on the raptor because this is a migrant species. 迁徙品種 okay? So it moves from place to place. The scientists want to know which place does this raptor visit? 有冇認錯咧？係我唔知啊，有時認啲猛禽即係我都唔係見好多，有啲時候呢啲特別呢啲咁大型嗰啲猛禽咧，你知喺香港唔係好易見，可能我認錯你啲，睇睇呢條 link， 我 send 出嚟俾你睇，可以及。Okay, so those are the new research techniques. If you are interested in bird ecology, you can let's say you can pick up you can specialize in one or a few techniques. These are quite new, okay? And then let's have a quick case study. Quick case study, and I want to focus on 油隼 Paragrain falcon. Because you can see it in Hong Kong, and you can see it anywhere in the world, okay? In the old world and in the new world, 舊世界、新世界 okay? You can see it, global distribution. 油隼 okay? Oh, in the wild, very often we see the 燒烤剪影 of the reptile. You can see that there are few fingers. So these are the primaries. And you can see the tail of this 油隼. Yeah. People say that if you look up on the sky and you see something like an anchor, 船錨, okay? Then it is very likely a 油隼. And the facial pattern, okay, it is like a pilot helmet. These are the identification features of 油隼. Okay, the wings are quite stout. Okay, short, wide, but it looks like very strong. Okay, so we say it is quite stout. And the baby of the Paragrain falcon looks like this. You can see that a ring is on the leg of this Paragrain falcon because they nest in an artificial environment. These pebbles are on the balcony or on the ledge of a building. So when they are baby, they look like penguins. But when they grow up, they become this, okay? And then they become the fastest predator on the world. So this is the Paragrain here. This is a building. This is their preferred habitat in the urban. But in the past, when scientists take a closer look at the egg of Paragrain falcons, they will find something like this. Can you see the eggshell? Okay, it looks like compressed, and the eggshell looks like very brittle. 脆弱 easy to break, yet very soft. 有冇聽過咩叫滴滴體啊？ DDT 啊？It is a short form for the chemical name of a fertilizer, and that fertilizer was used before 1970s. People want to expel the insects in agricultural fields. And then when the insects consume the DDT, then when the reptile consume those small insects, a large amount of DDT will accumulate inside the body of those reptiles. What is the impact? The impact is that DDT inhibits the calcium deposition of reptiles. And you know that the eggshell is built out of calcium. Without sufficient calcium, the mother of the Paragrain falcon cannot pass sufficient calcium to the eggshells. Then, as eggs are being taken care of in the nest, sometimes the mother will rotate the eggs, and then they may accidentally break the eggshell. The eggshell become more easily to be damaged during the incubation period. Incubation, 孵化應該叫咩啊 ？Incubation 即係孵蛋期。OK， so that is the threat the Paragrain falcon faced in the 1970s or in the 1980s. Their number dropped drastically, but still they can live in the urban. Now usually this is a balcony of the building. So imagine if you live in places like New York or Montreal in Canada. If your house has a balcony, and then you open the slide door, and then you can see a Paragrain on your balcony. So these are the ledge habitat. Ledge, okay, 延伸物, okay, on building. They use it for building nest, and they use these ledge as a perch. What is a perch? 都唔識講，即係a perch is I don't know the Chinese, okay, but for reptiles, they like tall structure. They like to stand above a tall area. They want to have an overlooking view of the place below them, so that whenever they detect food, prey, they can immediately fly and catch their prey. So it is a perch, okay? They use the ledge for nesting function and perching function. Remember the kitchen function and the bedroom function of urban habitats. I told you in the last lecture. Urban they use it as a kitchen, a place to eat, okay, and bedroom, a place to nest in urban. So these are the food of Paragrain falcon, feral pigeon. Now, feral pigeons can fly very, very, very fast, but Paragrain falcons are just faster. Okay? And then they use this open sky for hunting, because if the sky is very dense, I mean, if the density of building is very, very high, they may not be good for a Paragrain falcon, because the tall buildings may be obstacles in their flight. But if that is an open sky, then the Paragrain falcon can spot a pigeon, and then they will fly close to a pigeon and then hit the pigeon. Okay, it is a very lethal hit. Okay, now how should I frame it? So a Paragrain will spot a pigeon high up in the sky, and then it will contract its wings into a hunting position. then there will be a free fall. The speed can reach above 300 kilometers per hour. That is a very, very, very fast speed. Then as the peregrine falcon approach the feral pigeon, it will extend its talons, 爪, okay, from the side of the pigeon. Then it will hit the pigeon. That is a huge impact. The impact force will cause the pigeon to faint, 撞暈嗰隻白鴿, okay. Sometimes it can catch the pigeon at the first instance, but sometimes as the pigeon faints over, then the peregrine falcon can leave the pigeon to free fall for a moment and then catch it midway in the air. So that is a spectacular sight to watch. So this is an open sky. If you want to characterize open sky, you can use something called sky view vector. If the sky view vector is high, then you have a more open sky. If a sky view vector is low, it means that there are many obstacles around. So it is the Salisbury Cathedral 死啦，唔記得喺邊添，英國某處，okay, where the peregrine falcon nest in the clock towers. Okay, this is the Heidelberg Schloss, 海德堡城堡. Okay, in 海德堡, Germany. This is a Sun Life building in Montreal, in Canada. So peregrine live on the ledge. Yeah. This is in do you know where it is? Okay. Although in Hong Kong we do not have those large churches or castles. We have 運動場. It is in 西貢. 又輕機. It is the 鄧兆尊運動場. Okay. So in European countries, the peregrine falcons live in the clock towers. So some of the bells in those clock towers originally were built for dispelling the birds. The city owners try to use the bells to generate a very, very loud sound, the sound of the bell, church bell, to cause the bird to fly away from the city. But peregrine falcons can tolerate those loud noise, and they build a nest there, just like in Hong Kong, in 鄧兆尊運動場. You see, this is the place where the peregrine falcon used as a perch. That's the perch used by peregrine falcon. So, as I mentioned in the past, the number of peregrine falcon dropped dramatically in the 1970s and the 1980s. Then the conservation scientists think that, can we release some falcons from the falconry people? Okay, 養鷹，有啲養鷹人 ，okay, they breed peregrine falcon. Then they the conservationists want to release them back to the wild, but they choose urban area as a priority area, meaning that they do not want to release the peregrine falcon back to the wild, but they want to release it back in urban areas. Why do they do so? Simple fact, because urban is closer to the office of the conservation scientist. Okay, they work in urban, so they just released it back to the urban, and then they need to monitor the health and the reproduction biology of the peregrine falcon. So if it is in the urban, then they can mobilize more volunteers to monitor the life after release. And peregrine falcon is already known as an urban adapter back in 1970s. So they think that it is safe to release birds that have been bred by falconers in the urban areas. So these three reasons justify the release in urban area rather than in the wild. And they have to breed more falcons. But how do they do it? 有冇人有密集恐懼症? This is the head, okay? Do you know, have you ever seen this head? This head can be made of plastic or made of metal. And you see there are some small holes on these heads. Do you know what are these holes? Okay, let me send you a not pesticide. DDT 係 pesticide. Do you know what is those heads? What is the function of of these heads? You wear it on your head, on your head.知咩嚟嘅？有冇人估到呢啲帽係用嚟做咩？俾隻嘢企喺上高做咩咧？提示。行街。提示。I give you a tip. Go to the MS Team chat box. XD 留低佢嘅後代 ，yeah， correct， 留低佢嘅後代。So the process is like this. You wear this hat on your head, okay? And there are two layers of the hat. On top, there are some holes. We call it the perforated layer. 有孔的一層 okay? The second layer, no holes. You can take away the first layer, the outer layer. Then you put this on your head. You will allow a happy head. Yeah. You allow the male falcon to stand on the head and then mate with this head. So it is called copulation head. The nickname of this is a fuck head. Okay. You interpret the meaning of this head. Okay. You collect the semen. You collect the semen of the male falcon, 精液, okay, and then you artificially fertilize the female falcon, 人工受精, okay, using the semen collected from this copulation head. 有趣啦！以前啲人咧，即係幫啲準啊去繁殖嘅話咧，幫啲鷹啊，幫啲準繁殖咧，就係咁。Wear it on the head, okay, happy head. And of course, you see this celebrity effect once again. This is 查理斯王子. He is a avid bird lover. So whenever he visits some areas where there are artificial nests, so people will say that if I see Prince Charles, then I can associate with reptile. So the celebrities will help reptiles gain more popularity. It is a positive effect for conservation. So the result is that more than 7,000 captive birds have been naturalized. This word naturalized means that you train these birds to hunt food on their own. And then if they can catch food themselves and they know how to survive in urban habitat, you release them, okay? That is the process of naturalization. So they are very adaptable urban reptile. You see, this is a plant. This is a planter box. If you live in North America or Western countries, or if you live in tall apartments, if you put out a planter box in your balcony, you can expect a peregrine falcon if you are lucky. So they will nest in this box. Sometimes they make nest in these hollow steel bar or these support for bridges. Okay, okay, they make nests inside. So for the chicks of the reptiles, or the reptile chicks, 24 hours it is darkness, and then when those chicks are old enough to become fledglings, they can climb out from the dark place, and then they can adapt to urban life very, very quickly. So these are the bridge, okay? And also they may make a nest on these construction cranes, steel bay, okay? Construction crane. Of course, cathedral. This is a real-time nest cam on Derby Cathedral. Okay, you see peregrine falcon here. This is the artificial nest box. Right, this is the church where the peregrine make its nest. But there is something interesting. Not everyone likes peregrine falcon. Some people do not like them. You see, this is a pigeon, and then there is a leg ring here. This is a breed of pigeon called the Birmingham Roller. It can perform some special flight in the mid-air. It can roll in the sky. So one Birmingham Roller pigeon can fetch $1,000 US, a very expensive pet. People keep these pets on purpose, and then they release it in the open sky of urban area. Unfortunately, some falcon know that people release these pigeons, and the peregrine falcons will catch these roller pigeons as their food. Then, in the 1990s, I forget, it is in Seattle or in LA, okay, Los Angeles. Suddenly, people saw that why are there some dents or some holes on the buildings? They called the police. and they say that there are some holes on the building. The police came, and then they investigated that those holes are bullet holes, 子彈窿. Why are there bullet holes? And later they find out that there are some sharpshooters or snipers. Okay. Those sharpshooters shoot the peregrine falcon. Why? Because those sharpshooters are hired by the pigeon keepers. Those pigeon keepers want to minimize their loss. The pigeon keepers want to kill the peregrine falcon so that their pigeons can fly in the urban without threats from peregrine falcon. Then the FBI was involved in the investigation, and then the FBI launched something called Operation High Roller. They want to catch the criminals who shoot the peregrine falcons. And then I remember that there are 3 or 6 pigeon keepers who were caught, and then they shoot 2,000 or 3,000 falcons, kestrels, or birds of prey every year. So that is an example of extreme conflict between human and urban reptiles. But of course, there are more common conflicts. For instance, conflict number 1 is the whitewash. So these are the pool of urban reptiles. Extreme example, right? So peregrine falcon built their nest, and then they reuse their nest every year. So if you park your vehicle under the nest, it is what you get. So it is a hygiene issue. People do not like this. Yeah. Another issue is this. Can you see there are some there are some corpse 死屍. Say another one. Corpse of pigeons, and some building owners call the police, and then they report to the police that I see some headless corpse in front of my buildings, and I fear that there are some satanic rituals. Now these are real incidents. Okay, satanic rituals. 撒旦教拜祭. Okay. But because in those satanic regions, they will use animal sacrifice, 動物獻祭. They will break the nest of pigeons and then offer it to Satan, okay, as sacrifice. But if in fact no people perform satanic rituals in their building, why do they see this? It is because sometimes falcons in the urban will do something called extra catch. They may catch more than they need, and if they want to dispose of the prey that they do not want, they just throw it onto the street. This is what they get. Okay, it is what the people see. 搞笑嘅，撒旦教獻祭. This is 撒旦教獻祭會場. And conflict number 3 is like this. Sometimes people want to conserve reptile, but at the same time, they want to remove introduced species like European starlings. So these are the close-up photos of European starlings. But they kill the European starlings with poison. But then, let's say some scavenger, 腐食者, some urban scavenger reptiles will pick up these corpses. But remember, these starlings were killed by poison. There are still poison inside their body. So that there may may be conflicts between conservation of a species and the removal of pest species. That is a conflict. Yeah. So conflict number 4, it is related to nesting, because during nesting period, you may sometimes see nest defense behavior. If you walk too close to the nest of a raptor, the father and mother of the nest will attack you. Sometimes they may just fly past you. Sometimes they may use their talons or beak to attack you. So you may be hurt, you may be injured. So building owners do not want it to happen. And then this is a property manager trying to catch a raptor, a peregrine falcon. But of course, sometimes there are some building owners who want to attract peregrine falcons to their building structure, because their building structures are used as nest sites by other species, like pigeons or starlings. Those building owners do not want pigeons or starlings. They want to drive them away. So they want to attract them. Okay, so they want to attract raptors, like falcons, like peregrine falcons. But of course, there are some solutions. For example, if you educate the building owners, they may use raptors as a goodwill. Okay, in Western countries, the building owners sometimes feel proud that a species of conservation interest choose their buildings to be a nesting location. So that is a good sign. So with some education campaign, you can achieve this. And of course, as I mentioned, you can attract them. You see, this is an image captured from CCTV. These are the workers. And then they are putting a nest box under their bridge. They try to attract a peregrine falcon to nest there to drive away the unwanted pigeons. And what they are doing is that they are trying to put a leg band on the leg of the baby so that they can track the raptor in the future. And then in some countries, if a raptor or if a falcon nests on your building, but if a chick accidentally falls from the nest, and the chick is sent to the rehabilitation center, and then the scientists said that, okay, this chick is too young or not appropriate to be naturalized. You cannot release it back to the wild. You have to keep it. But it will add a cost to the rehabilitation center to keep that. So they will do something called a permit lottery. What is this permit? This 許可證. This is the permit for falconry. 養鷹人, okay? Falconry. Now, if you just keep a falcon as a pet, it is illegal. You have to obtain a permit. So whenever the rehabilitation center receives a raptor that is unsuitable for release in future, they will do a lottery. 抽獎, okay? 抽獎, 大抽獎. 抽咩獎呢? If you want to keep a falcon, just apply for the lottery. You may have a chance to get a permit to keep a falcon as pet. So it will benefit for the human-raptor relationship. Okay, so let's have another break. After this break, we will return to the final part, how to solve the conflicts between human and raptors.